I'm Christopher Chacon, and I'm an anomalist and parapsychological researcher. And we're in the Perry House at Heritage Square, Los Angeles. This particular house, individuals who've come in here have had experiences that they couldn't explain, they couldn't dismiss. And all the people I've spoken to about this, they're actually more on the skeptical side. They don't believe in ghosts, so they're unable to dismiss or explain what the phenomena is. And when they had the experiences, they had no idea that the possibility of this location could be haunted. The only stories that kind of exist have to do with the people who work here and have told basically the people who are here. They don't really promote it as being haunted. That was an interesting sort of case of controlling information and how it has a little bit more validity because of the fact no one's talking about haunted houses, but they're having these experiences. What I'm using here is, this is an electromagnetic field monitor. It looks at magnetic fields, and we're able to equip it to look at geomagnetic fields. And magnetic fields passing everywhere. Any electronic device we have, it's picking up electricity passing through the house. And it's basically creating a baseline of what's normal. If suddenly it surges one way or the other, that's unusual, it's an anomaly. The question is it connected to something, for lack of a better word, paranormal? Some people have claimed to hear these experiences. In this particular room, they said when they came in here, there were two people, one person walked out and they heard someone else talking, and this person turned around and there was nobody else in here. As you could see, no one else but this casket. And the person thought they were imagining it. Looking again, they began to hear the sounds again of a person talking, and the person swore they thought there must have been someone on the other side of this casket there, because they could hear a clear voice, and they walked toward it. Sure enough, no one was there. That was enough to really freak out the person, because unless this room has been rigged with a speaker and their intent to do this, which no one else has ever experienced that, they didn't know what to make of that experience. Now going into this room over here, two people basically had come through here, and one of them, as they passed through here, they turned back and they saw someone going up the stairs. They didn't think anything of it. It was somebody going up the stairs, no big deal. They went into this other room. The person walked back again, and again saw them going up the stairs again, almost like a deja vu feeling. They stopped to watch the person. As the person reached the top of the stairs, that's when the person disappeared. And that's when the person got really freaked out, because they realized, okay, they either just had a really psychotic episode or that was a ghost. Walking up the stairs, it looked just like anyone else. The only thing now, looking back on it, is if you ever walk up these stairs, they creak. The person walking up the stairs, there was no creaking going on. So, looking back on it, again, who would have ever thought about that? This other device I'm holding is using, it's forward-looking infrared technology, and basically it uses infrared technology, not a visual one, but only looks at the infrared spectrum of temperature. So we're looking at heat in the room, temperature in the room. That light bulb over there, as you can see, it's showing the ambient temperature of the room, and there's the light bulb. And as I focus on the light bulb there, it's going to start telling me the temperature of the light bulb. If I want it to, I can take a, let's see here. Let's see if I can zoom out. Actually, that's kind of interesting. Right there, you notice the black, very cold, that's being picked up by this? That's actually, probably shouldn't be there right now. Especially for the fact that it's so hot in here. That cold is you see how it's kind of unstable? Right there. That's unusual. It's calibrating for it. Right here in the hallway, at the end of that hallway, and that would be something, obviously, the darker it is, the colder it is. That light bulb is very hot right now. Well, what this device does is it picks up those temperature variations, and what we want to do then is try to figure out if that is something. Right now, that would be something of interest, because that's a very cold something, as you can see the figure shape of it, right down straight ahead at the end of that hallway there. And magnetic fields are Normal, perfectly normal. The equipment we use, again, the equipment is only used to sort of monitor the environment. If something happens in it, it doesn't always just place it. There's no steadfast rules to anything. Sometimes people have cold spots and background radiation disappears. Sometimes there's cold spots, it doesn't happen. There haven't just been cold spots, there's been hot spots in situations. People have picked up electrostatic fields in places to a degree where they actually see electrical arcing moving into the house, which has no explanation to it. And again, if these are connected to some kind of phenomena happening, if you're seeing apparitions, hearing voices, you know, one would connect the two, but that's not always the case that the two have anything to do with each other. It's very much a huge puzzle, and we're using the technology to try to help us put it together. Video technology, the thermography, the night vision, it's all pieces of the puzzle, but none of it really answers any questions until we put it all together and do a lot of investigation of it.
Great. And just what's your overall opinion, just given your expertise of the films like Paranormal Activity? Like, how would you kind of just, when you see it, you sit back and you watch, like, what are your thoughts about that?
What do I think about the film?
As far as authenticity and just the way that...
From an authenticity standpoint, all the films, like I said earlier, all the films, if you look at the events that happen, the paranormal events that happen in each film, I have encountered or have had reports of each event like that happening someplace in the world. So the events are grounded in people having those experiences. Happening all at one time in one location, that's extremely rare. You know, for something like that to happen. And of course, that's movie making. You want to put the best, the most extreme together. That what makes it entertaining. It is grounded from a photographic standpoint. I guess you could say, you know, each of the movies want to do that mockumentary look to them to make people draw people in and make it feel like you're eavesdropping, and that works really well for that kind of, for the phenomena or the story they're trying to tell throughout it.
Cool.
Okay.
24 minutes before our last interviews.
Okay, yeah. Well, my question was really fast. What's the difference, whether it's a hot spot or a cold spot, how was that paranormal? How do you define?
Okay, there's two ways of looking at it. I guess there's two terminologies. If I use parapsychological terminology, it's paranormal. If I'm an anomalist, it's an anomaly. And the reason they're both like the way it is because if you go through this house and it's warm in here right now, and you find an area that's really cold, you know, okay, that's not supposed to be like that. It's not normal. If there's not a refrigeration unit there's not liquid there, no one's dropped liquid nitrogen in the area, then you rule those things out right away, saying, okay, there's no explanation for that. As soon as you're saying, okay, there's no explanation, then you basically done the math, it doesn't add up. That right there becomes a paranormal event or an anomalous event. I should say an anomalous event. Really, it becomes more paranormal when you begin connected to things like a disembodied spirit or ghost or poltergeist, or if someone's using magic or witchcraft to manifest these things. Brujeria in the case, you know, if someone's using that kind of thing to make these things happen. Then of course you're talking more paranormal. It really, the terminology is there when you say paranormal because you're coming to a conclusion that it's really paranormal. When you're saying anomalous, that means there could be perhaps some kind of explanation to it. Yeah, something extraordinary situation, yeah.